This trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Well, yesterday was a crazy day. I'm sure today is going to be pretty crazy. If I can just get in here, grab the link really quick. There we go. Share. Here we go. So, I'm gonna let you guys filter in here first. Get a couple of people in so we can chat. All right. It's been a day, hasn't it? Actually, it looks like Treasuries took a dive overnight too. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep, some flattening going on. I see the flattening. Okay. So hold on, I want to, oh no, not this part yet. So let me show you the Treasuries first. So there's the yen. Yesterday, got to move up. It got faded late in the day. And then starting in the next session, they've taken us down. I think they're probably going to try and get to the VWAP, but we do have news, don't we? What is the news? We have industrial production at 7:15, housing market index. Then tomorrow it's building permits, housing starts, etc., etc. It's not really a news-heavy week, is it? But I think that the more interesting thing on the chart is if we pull over our longer-term chart here, the ZB, we're kind of like in the middle of a range. So there's this range here, but then there's also, you know, this range. We never completely retraced these single prints up here, which is interesting. But then in ZN, we're down. We're down. On a daily basis, we're almost at the bottom here. So definitely some flattening going on, and you can see it here on the yellow line. They're flattening. Yeah. So let me start. So we got some people in, because you're gonna have some questions about the indicator, right? Smiley Ant, I'm interested to see if you reckon we've bottomed on Bitcoin yet. I'm hoping so. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording here. I'm not streaming, but I'm going to record so that I can upload this separately, right? Okay, so the question is, have we bottomed in Bitcoin? And I have these wonderful charts. And let's see what the chart says. Drum roll, please. Well, we're down there, but we're not quite to 50. In fact, if I just look at my spreadsheet here on my other screen, which you can't see, the reading today is 54. So the answer is no, not quite yet. So I've actually seen it at 45, 40 before. And that was as recently as 2015. So yeah, we could have some more to come. Let's just pull up Crypto Watch here. This is not positive action, guys. I mean, here's the thing. When you get tops, there's two patterns that you'll see in tops and bottoms. One is this thing that you see right here where you get a long wick. Okay, so they faded it within that time period. The next one that you get is you get these double candles here where the one candle completely outdoes what the previous one did, like this right here. That's a top. That's a top. That's a top. That one, it didn't do it. And then you can see here the wicks, bottom, 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 bottom. But see here, there's another thing though, and that is you want to see the next candle close below the previous or above the previous. So here on the bottom here, we had a wick, and then do we have a close above that candle? Yes, we do, two candles later. Okay, this one, what do you see? Nope. They went down and they're not stopping. They're just hanging out here, which means that there's going to be another group of people who are going to sell. Probably. So I did a little bit of math last night, and my indicator was signaling 50 at 50 and 45 around 8 and 9,000. So I think that there could be another leg to our Bitcoin position. A little sad. So what happened? Well, we said, when did we post it? It wasn't January 10th, was it? Oh, actually it was January 10th. Yeah. So we said buy here. This is where I bought. And the move that I had happened, and it got smacked down hard. In fact, can we show, I want to see the volume here so you can see. Here it was moving and then it got smacked down. And I don't know if that was somebody bought it and then it didn't happen, so they gave up or what, but. And then this right here. But look, not as much as this previous volume spike. Not as much as this previous volume spike, in fact. Kind of curious, right? So, I think that my trade in Bitcoin Cash is not wrong yet, but it's certainly teetering on the edge, and it probably would have been a wise move to have taken it off here and waited for a better entry price. I don't know. I mean, we've lost maybe 40% on it. But I said, you know, if it goes lower, I want to buy more. I do want to buy more, but not until this thing is done. Not until this thing is done. Yeah. So that's the basic thing. So I know you guys have questions. Can answer any questions that you might have about it. Bottom at 200 USD. Well, I mean, there is some support levels there for sure. But if we got down to 200 USD, that would be odd, because since Bitcoin has become, you know what I want to say, mature. I mean, this was like $10 here, but I think it has more to do with market cap. Once the market cap got big enough and Bitcoin was being used, you've noticed it's never gone below that, really gone and stayed below that 50. So for us to have another dip like this one right here would be unusual. So I think that the bottom is probably somewhere around 8,000. Yeah. Okay, so they bought it on the open. Our note. Let's just look at the other ones here. That Bitcoin one was with a different data source. It doesn't work very well. Okay, so even with our Bitcoin Cash, we're not quite to our low point yet. Dash. Okay, Doge is still not done. Freaking Doge, my goodness. Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum is coming down here, and I'm wondering if we can consider this a range, and if we come back down to here. When this move is done, I've got the cash sitting there ready to buy Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum. So Litecoin maybe basing here. Looks okay. Vertcoin, I don't really like that chart because of the way that it's going. Vertcoin to me, so when I see these, this looks to me like a pump. You know, this is something where it's like somebody bought it and then we found price stability and it stayed, and then the transaction volume went back down, so it would come back down. So each one of these waves is like a pump. Or sorry, it comes up here and then transaction volume increases, and that's why the indicator goes back down. So this to me looks like somebody's trying to pump it harder and harder and harder and is not being as successful as they would like. That's kind of my read on Vertcoin. But I mean, it's just a chart. That's my reading of the chart. Maybe your reading is different. Oh, XVG is just dead. That's the one I'm mining. Oh wait, where was oh, I already looked at it, so. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't think we're done yet. No way. How reliable has that provided to be, i.e. a good strike rate of it getting to 50 or below? So like the question is, if you buy at 50 and sell at 100, like what's your win rate? Well, the win rate would depend on what your, you know, if you put a profit or a stop. But if you just only ever bought at 50 and you only ever sold at 100, you'd have a 100% win rate, which is kind of, you know, not very helpful because nothing has a 100% win rate, right? That just says we've only had this happen like 5 or 6 times now. We only have 5 or 6 samples. It's bound to fail at some point, sure. And oh, well, so the other thing though is like if it hits 50, can it actually go lower? Sure. It can. It just as an example. Make it really big. I have to make it really big for this. Really big. Okay. So here it is, it's 50. Did it go lower? No, it didn't. Here it is, it's at 50. Did it go lower? No, it didn't. This one though, it's at 50. Okay. Then there was a recovery. It got to 100. Went lower. Didn't quite get to 50. But, and then again here higher. Above 150. So this was like the recovery that failed to make a new high. I think this is what's going to happen again. I think this is what's going to happen again. And this is going to be like 1,000 right here. Like we're going to go to like 8,000. We're going to come down. They're going to come up. And it's going to get to like between 10 and 13,000. And then bear market. But then again here, you know, the 50. So I would say when it hits 50, it's usually good for a bounce. But that doesn't mean that it's a good place to buy if you're hodl. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you buy it at 50, it almost always goes back up. You know, it swings back and forth on this. Eventually you get it. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys digest that and eat a little bit of food here, because the treasuries are just not doing anything all that interesting at the moment.
ETH set GM.
Here, I got a funny picture for you that was on the crypto subreddit. This is me expecting to buy the dip this morning and then seeing the price action. I think it's interesting, something that, and I saw this last crash. I've seen this after Bitcoin crashes many times. Is it goes down and people are like, oh, it's going down. This is the perfect time to buy. No, please, guys, no. Amateur hour. Do not catch a falling knife. Maybe it bottoms out here. Maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it looks like it's made a recovery, like this thing right here. Where is it? Let me come back. I gotta bring back my Bitcoin chart. Okay. This thing right here. Oh, it's over. It's over. Wham. No. You got to see some pretty specific signs to say that there's been a reversal. We've touched that 1,003 times now. It's going to go lower. The probability is it's going to go lower, I think. I'm going to buy between 8,000 and 11,000 every 8 hours for the next couple of days. Exactly, IHT. You need to stop trying to predict the future and actually watch to see if there's solid buying. Yeah, you don't want to catch a falling knife. Here's the thing. Can I see it on a daily basis, maybe? If it goes back far enough. How far back does it go? Oh, it only goes back to the beginning of 2017? Boo. How about this one? Okay. There was a crash. Oh no. Okay, this is where you are right now. Oh, it's just a dip by now. Right? Oh, it went up, but I've already been burned. Maybe I should just give up. Okay? And then you get this thing. Okay? This is where you buy. This is where I buy, at least. This to me is, okay, that is confirmation. There was a reversal. Okay, now at the time you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but I didn't get 2,000, I got 2,500 instead, right? Well, how many of you guys would have been happy buying Bitcoin at 2,500? Huh? Yeah, I think so. So don't be overly anxious, okay? There'd be plenty of time to buy when it's over.
Tucker said agreed. So far I'm just seeing chop and aggression by sellers at highs and buyers at lows. Usually it's inverted.
Okay, so I see AHD taking a short 26. Keep an eye on that. I'm still not, I don't want to take a trade that close to the VWAP in the notes, so I'm just kind of watch it. So Bruglione says, you can't read charts for this, in my opinion. This is just a whale manipulation. If that's is where we are right now, it does not look like such a bad buy opportunity. Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, his point is, I guess your point is you're saying if you go back to that way
Alligator
back.
said although calendar is almost empty, bonds have started their trend, which means there's some activity anyway.
I forget
Seems
where
high,
it was.
But 123 looks possible.
But
otherwise a small range to play 230.28.
Okay. But he's saying, even if you bought it when it was falling, yes, it would have fallen a lot against you, but it's still much higher than it is today. That's true. But you can't make the assumption that it's going to make a new high. The thing is, we must consider the possibility, and I think it is actually a significant possibility that 20,000 is the highest Bitcoin ever gets. It is possible. Because there could be a flippening. The government could come in. All sorts of things that could happen, right? So I don't think you want to go in with the idea that, well, it dips. It doesn't matter if it dips further because I'm still going to get a higher high than 20,000. That might not necessarily happen. Now, to the other comment, though, that this is just whale manipulation. I mean, there is some circumstantial evidence that this was pushed over the edge. And what do I mean? Or why do I say that? Well, so first of all, here, the 16th was like when the futures came out, right? So price really went up here when the futures were launched. And then that was like the trade. Like that was part of why everybody was buying like way back here, was because of the futures. And the trade was over. People took profits, and it went down on fairly low volume. We came down. We had a buy the dip. That's that right there. Since then, we've kind of been ranging, and you notice some of this stuff looks to me like when we have these big moves and it's not even on that much volume. That kind of says to me that somebody is just using market orders and eating through the book. You know what I mean? They're pushing it through. And then you kind of see that same kind of action through here. But the thing that I think is interesting in what I was saying about circumstantial evidence, look at our futures chart here. So this point, this right here is this, okay? We're looking at this area right here. The futures were kind of ranging all day, and then we had this, okay? Move up, and they really tried to push price up. But what were the futures doing? The futures sold the whole time. The whole time. Even though price was higher, cumulative delta was decreasing. They were going short. And then right on the open, look at that. Isn't that crazy? So, for whatever reason, the futures traders were going short, almost as if they knew it was going to happen. It could be hedging. I think that maybe one of the things that might have happened was people were hedged. They sold their positions and they just held the future to make profit off of the subsequent drop. Another thing I think is curious right here. Some tether was printed here. Yeah. So, a lot of people think that the tether is like a scam and there's nothing backing it. I'm not going to take a position on that because even though I think it's highly suspicious and I personally do believe that that might be happening, I can't prove that that's happening. And if I can't prove in court an assertion like that, I'm not going to make it. So let's just assume that there's somebody out there that just had $1 million and they gave it to Tether because they wanted to buy it. Okay. Between 10,000 and, 11,000. Well, guess what? Price is lower. And especially if we break 10,000, that guy is underwater. So what happens now when you have all of these tethers that bought Bitcoin and they're underwater? You know what I'm saying? Just like with that BitConnect went kaput yesterday. You could see something similar in Tether. If it really is fake. And -3 on that one? Oh, I guess, yeah. Oh, you know what? NinjaTrader crashed on me. I can't believe they would do this. So here's the other problem. With the bridge, Pete, I love you. And I really like what you've done. And I really like the whole bridge thing because, you can't have two connections. And I'm doing something special because I have a demo account and I have a live account. And so I'm using one on one platform and one on the other platform. But this bridge thing, it takes away your one of the primary reasons, one of the best reasons to use Jigsaw Day Trader is that you can have your really nice NinjaTrader charts, but if something happens to them, no big deal. But if you're using the bridge, NinjaTrader crashes on you, you're SOL. So, yeah, I think that they should just work on, improving the charts in Jigsaw so that I have zero reason to ever use NinjaTrader again. All right, well, let's end task to it here. And the thing that sucks is that if I went to NinjaTrader with support, they would probably be like, well, it's probably some indicator that you wrote or something like that. And like all the indicators that are on there are ones that I wrote. So I could totally admit that I could be doing something wrong in there. But like they're not complicated indicators. I just can't for the life of me figure out why it would crash like that. I don't need my investment right now anyways, even 2 years is fine. Sure. I hope so. I hope that, because there are a lot of people hodl in Bitcoin, and I hope it works out for them, but I am concerned that we don't hit 20,000 again. And there's going to be a lot of people disappointed. Oh, so we're actually considerably above the VWAP here now. Oh, thank you, Rackley. He posted the stream to Steam it with Twitch and YouTube and the KU coin reference. That has, well, so what would happen in your opinion if Tether blows up? Well, if Tether blew up, I think that there would probably have to be law enforcement get involved. Where are they based out of? Where is Tether based out of? I don't even know. I run the Trade08 Jigsaw plugin side by side by Sierra's CQG, and there's actually some lag. So wondering if you find lag with your bridge. So I ran it side by side. I can do it. Here, hold on. Hold on. I'll show you. I can bring up another depth and cells here. Yes, I can. ZN. Okay. We'll make it big. We'll make it look like exactly like the other one. Okay. Okay. So you can see, or maybe you can't see, let's like put them like literally right next to each other. So there is a little bit of lag. See that? It actually behaves a little bit differently sometimes. Like when the orders flood in is when you really see where the NinjaTrader lag comes in, where NinjaTrader can't really process the orders coming in as quickly. So there's a little bit of lag, but not enough for me to say that's the reason you shouldn't use it. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Bitfinex is Tether too. Yeah, so if Tether went down, Bitfinex would definitely go down. And that's since one of the biggest exchanges. But also, I mean, law enforcement would get involved. There would be a ton of assets seized, for sure. And there would be a lot of Bitcoin that they have bought with Tether that would be confiscated and possibly sold, just like when the US government sold the Bitcoin that they had confiscated. So it would be bad. I mean, it would be bad for the overall market, and I wouldn't want to be long when that happens. For sure. Yep. Well, it sounds like Mt. Gox 2.0. That's because that's exactly what it is. Because that's exactly what Mt. Gox was doing. It's just that Mt. Gox wasn't dumb enough to tell us every time that they were doing it like Tether does. If that's what's happening. That's the funny thing about it. If that's what's happening, every time that they print Tether, we can see it. So it's like they're manipulating the price of it and they're showing everybody. I heard they are launching the Ethereum Tether. Okay. What would that be? Why can't you just use Tether with Ethereum Tether? I'm trading between Bitcoin and alts now. I'm shifting the whole portfolio to alts. I'm expecting to hold USD value somewhat. Well, see, that's kind of what I did, though, because I said I made a big profit in Sia Coin. That was a big sell. I might want to take one short here now. I'm talking too much. I need focus. I made a big profit in Sia Coin, and so I took it out and I put it into some other coins, you know, like the Bitcoin Cash one. And that was the wrong choice. I should have just literally moved it all into cash on my Coinbase account, and then I would have like 400 sitting here to be able to buy back. But now, you know, I'm holding my positions because I like the ones that I have, and yeah, I don't know. Got to go. Thanks for your perspective. Thank you for watching, Bruglione. I appreciate everybody that watches. We are doing really well lately too. We got like a dozen people every day now, and we got we've got 2 on Twitch. We're trying to keep 3 an average of 3 on Twitch. So I think what happens, do they, let's look at the achievements. Or maybe there's, maybe there's something about it on Twitch about like what is a partner? You get a couple of bonuses in terms of monetizing content, which I'm not necessarily care about. Video transcodes. Partners will have access to quality options for their channel. And broadcast delay, which I don't care. I was hoping for, you know, some sort of added visibility. That's what I'm interested in. Yeah. Yeah, well, whatever. It's still kind of fun. I still kind of like their whole setup. You know, gives you goals to go for. So you know what's important. Yeah, now we've got 3. Thank you. Got limitless internet anyway. Right. You can have like 3 open. The thing is, I don't know if they have it like this anymore, but last time I checked, Twitch was like hooked up to IRC, so you could do all sorts of stuff with IRC. But you know, now it's Discord. You know, if I could get my Discord integrated into Twitch, and I know that there's integration, but I want it to be that the Twitch chat is Discord chat, and same with YouTube. So we could all just use Discord. That's never going to happen, but I can dream. I don't know. This is a lot of movement on not that much volume. Here ZB is right at its VWAP, so I don't want to take a trade right here. I could have taken one when I saw the 5,000 at 27, but I'm, you know, close to the VWAP. Maybe not such a good choice. So, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, because Rackley was in here, how is our KU coin doing now? We're below $10, aren't we? Coin market cap. Oh, there's been a lot of movement. Verge was at 20 at one point. Verge really fallen. Okay, so KU coin is 33 now. Yeah, it's 873. Where would be like a good stopping point? Maybe $5. Maybe even here. I might buy some KU coin here. Somewhere. Okay. Sync your Discord account with your partner Twitch account. Easy stuff. Just go through user settings. Yeah, well, you can integrate them. Oh, Poker Scholar says, Seth, you're awesome. Thank you very much. By the way, is this the first time watching? I haven't seen your name before. If so, welcome. No, so the my understanding about the syncing them together, because I know that you can do that, and I've looked at it. What you can do is you can set it up so that people that subscribe to your channel get associated permissions in Discord, essentially. So you can like make a channel just for subscribers, but it doesn't actually make the Twitch chat room the you know, if that makes sense. Okay. Well, we're starting to see some initiation here below. The now that ZB has ticked below. Yes, sir. I'm not so sure if I want to go in with market orders here, though. Yeah. Good choice. Go here at this one. I do like it short, though, with the idea that they're going to try and attack the low of the day. Ah. Well, I'm just going to wait. If it goes without me, it goes without me. Okay, so Joe Schmoes asks, how can people say the futures are destroying Bitcoin, but the volume is so low? Well, they're exaggerating. It's a hyperbole. Here's the thing. Definitely the futures played a factor in this whole, what are we going to call it, debacle, I guess you could say. Because it is true, the day the CME futures went live was the top. I mean, that's just a fact. It happened, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that the futures made it happen. I mean, that would kind of imply that the futures traders came in and started selling it short, and that screwed up the whole market and caused it to go down, and it was all just some scam or something like that. No. I mean, like you said, that can't be happening because the volume is so low, and from what I've seen, the amount of arbitrage going on is so low that it literally can't affect the price. But it's still a factor, right? Because one, the reason that people were buying Bitcoin in the first place was because the futures were going to come. And basically what happened was the futures were released, the trade was over, people took profits. Literally. It boggles my mind. There were so many people, especially in the Facebook groups that I was following, that were like, buy Bitcoin because the futures are coming in. That means the price is going to go up. And it's like, come on, everybody knows you buy the rumor and sell the news. As soon as they go live, it's over. You get out. Anyways, but then I think that the other thing is that because there was futures, it kind of provided a hedge. So maybe was somebody out there that wanted to sell short Bitcoin, because we've definitely seen places where Bitcoin price was going up and the futures still sold it. Maybe somebody went short, and maybe they also happened to be in the cash markets, and they did something that kind of triggered more selling that they wouldn't have done if the futures didn't exist. So it's definitely a factor. It definitely could have been a factor. It's impossible to deconstruct, but... Okay, well, now that ZF is a little bit lower there, maybe we should move our order. I don't know. I'm still a little cautious. I feel like... So there's a probability here that we could touch 23.5 and reverse there. So that's kind of why I'm still wary of just taking a bad price. Especially since I keep seeing so many flips here in the order book. I don't know if today is really a day where they want to, really start pushing it down. I mean, it could be, but... So I still want to be cautious here. Yeah, with the futures, you're not trading any actual BTC. It's cash settled. That's also how, even though the price was going up, because the price, what is being bid and offered, has mostly to do with what's being on the exchange. There's robots, and they're putting the orders up, and when it moves up, they move their orders for sure. And so you notice that's why the cumulative delta is able to be so disconnected from price movement. So you could totally, go super short Bitcoin, even though prices are going up. And the only thing stopping you is getting a margin call. But like he said, like Rackley said, it's not an actual Bitcoin. So it doesn't directly affect the cash market. It would only affect the cash market if there's arbitrage. And right now, I don't think that there's enough arbitrage out there for it to be a factor. Just pop back over. I'm trying to watch two chat rooms here at the same time. Yeah, we're okay. Oh, I need to undeafen myself because the guys in the channel did take some positions. Seems more done. To see this strong rejection at highs, especially ZF would bet on short below VWAP target with overnight low with possible breakdown if we get lucky. Yeah.
Alligator said small pullback there, IMO.
Yeah, look, they stopped one tick short. That was what I was worried about. Exposed. The real creator of Bitcoin is likely the NSA as one world currency. Okay. If you say so. I don't buy that one bit, but... Oh, this is a zero hedge article. I guess we have to read it now. Well, I'm gonna have to read it later, but it doesn't look like they have much proof of anything. So it's just a conspiracy theory. It's a great conspiracy theory. Hey, you guys wanted some conspiracy theories yesterday. There's one for you. Satoshi is actually the NSA. 8K Bitcoin before the week is over. Yeah, 8K is still the level I'm looking at. Man, I'm glad that Trade the Traders put that link in the Discord, because like I should have seen that one coming. Oh, Bitcoin, it's actually been created by the government. It's just, of course somebody was going to come up with that one. Why did I not see that conspiracy theory coming? It's just so perfect. Bitcoin is just a scam created by the 1% to bleed us dry of our money, guys. Totally fits. Oh man, that is the things that people come up with. And dead hour fast action, short and moving. Yeah, it really looks like ZF putting on the brakes here a little bit. They made a low and now they're zigzagging back and forth a little bit. There's a iceberg there. I think they were going to come back up, maybe back to the view up, and then I could take a short. When is Alex Jones going to go crazy over this new Bitcoin conspiracy? Yeah. He should. We should do a show together, I think, because he pretty much believes everything that he hears, and I pretty much disbelieve everything that I hear. It would be great. It would be like Mythbusters, right? Because those guys, they didn't really get along in real life, but it was still great. They still had great chemistry. Yeah. I think so. Somebody should call him. Okay, see, and this is why I didn't sell at point at 24.5. This is exactly why, guys. Look, I would have only gotten 2 out of it. Risk reward was not worth it. Okay, so now I could go short here, because we're 4 away from the bottom. So that's enough reward for me to want to take it. And the risk is 4 ticks. It's about equal. I'm going to wait though. I'm going to wait for ZF to give me a better sign that shows there's some probability in my favor here. Who wrote this article, by the way? I mean, it's on Zero Hedge, but it would have had to have been somebody else. Oh wow, this is long. Get the book Splitting Pennies, Understanding Forex. So he's selling something. Oh, his name is Global Intel Hub. Oh man. Global Intel Hub has all sorts of crazy stuff on it. News and stuff. Chelsea Manning's Senate bid, a Russian plot? Oh, yes. Perfect. I can buy that. Can you guys believe that Chelsea Manning is running for Senate? That is just insane. Like, don't get me wrong. I support what WikiLeaks does most of the time. In that one particular instance, I think they released a lot of information that should not have been released. Or maybe they should have worked together. The media outlets that had it should have worked together with the government to, you know, take some stuff out. Because people were harmed because of that release, right? So I totally support the mission and everything. But at the same time, what Chelsea Manning did was literally treason. I mean, he had his sworn oath and everything, and he released way more stuff than he should have. He could have just released those 2 videos. I would have been cool with it. So, but even then, even if we just say, okay, what Chelsea Manning did was right and it was a good thing, you can't do something like that and then run for Senate. You just can't. But people, you're not. Sorry. Does not. Am I wrong? What do you think? Zero Hedge is the NSA. Oh, there you go, IHP. IHD. That's. I think you might be onto something there now. 2 Mayor KCS is not worth it. Let's revisit that end of year. We'll see. I think I could be wrong, but I think that this whole dip ends up being really good for KCS, right? Because basically now they get to develop and become the premier platform when everything goes quiet again, you know? I think you have to be a pedophile to become senator. That could be. Oh, I haven't seen the announcement video. I'll have to look at the announcement video. I just don't think that you can be a significant leaker and somebody that a large number of people believe to be a traitor, and then become a senator, become a part of the government. I mean, if you were a leaker and you get out, what Chelsea Manning should be doing right now is he should be running whistleblowing at organizations and advocating whistleblowing. But I just don't think that you have the reputation necessary to be a senator at that point. I mean, he's probably not going to win, but at least I don't think he's going to win. I haven't looked at polls there or anything. My first impression though is this is ridiculous. I mean, crazier things have happened. Donald Trump is president. So I don't know if that's crazier or not. That would be like if Alex Jones became a senator. I mean, come on. Can you believe if Alex Jones became a senator? That would be like mind-blowing. And then what are you going to say when he still pushes all of these conspiracy theories and he's a senator? Huh? Right? Well, now that I'm in office, the deep state is working extra hard to keep me from finding the truth. A little bit of a double bottom there. As far as I've noticed, more people are on her side than against. It might be true. Can you believe if Trump became president, right? So I tell you a story. Oh wait, hold on. Let me take a bite of food and then I will tell you a story. Okay, so story time. So I'm single, and it is like before anybody even announced that they were going to run for president. So it was like August of 2016, right? Or no, 2015. It was August of 2015, right? And I'm single and I'm dating and I'm going out with this girl. Really, really liked this girl. Kind of never really got over it. Red hair, rich widow, really, really great person. Anyways, so we're talking, and you know, this is before all of the Trump stuff, okay? And but the thing at the time was immigration. I think that Trump had announced, but it hadn't gotten very far. And so she was asking about the immigration thing, and she's kind of like a little doesn't really want to talk about it just because it's like, well, things are going well, let's not ruin it by having a political argument, sort of a thing, right? So she was asking me about, but I brought it up and I asked her actually about the immigration thing, and she really didn't like Trump just because of the comments that he made about immigration. It was a very nice girl. She's the kind of person that you can just be a total shitbag and she will have something nice to say about you. And when somebody is saying mean things like Trump, that obviously bothers her. And it's funny that even though she's so nice and kind about everybody, she just hates Trump. So anyways, when I was telling her, well, I don't actually think that he's going to deport them. He's kind of been inconsistent about that. And it's kind of like, well, if you want to fix immigration, you can't tell people that you're going to give them amnesty at some point, because then more people would come. And she understood that. But then I was like, I think he's going to win. Like I told her straight up right then and there. And it was before the first debate, okay? I think he's going to win. Because like I'd been following him since the Mitt Romney thing, and it's just like, I know he does crazy things and the whole thing is crazy, but this guy, he just changes things and finds the right people until it works. And he's been really successful. And he's kind of hitting the right political points. I think he's going to win. So, anyways, long story short, didn't really work out with her. Not for any bad reason. We're actually still okay friends. But, so, time goes on. And he wins the primary. And, he wins the election. And she just... It was like I had predicted it like at the very, very beginning, and they just couldn't believe it. It was like, and so many other people too that I can think of, they just thought I was crazy, that I thought that Donald Trump could win. But I don't know. I know my politics, and I could see it happening. I could watch it right before my eyes, and I'm like, I don't even know if I like this guy, but I think he's gonna win, guys. I'd normally sell and buy backs, but couldn't pick when it might bounce. Gone further than I thought. I didn't believe it either. Granted, I'm from Illinois. Yeah. Well, the thing about Donald Trump, and here's, I think, one of the key things you need to understand why, to understand basically everything about Donald Trump. And this is something about human nature, okay? Really convincing arguments tend to be very controversial. Okay. So if you say something and it's a really convincing argument, you notice, like, if you look at a poll on an issue, it is very rare that there is not at least 30% of people that go one way on a particular issue, right? Even if it's even 55%, that's considered a win, okay? And that's because you have an issue, people are using convincing arguments on both sides, and it's going to cause the division. So here you have this Trump guy, and basically the only thing that he knows how to do is to use convincing arguments, right? And we're not talking about like logic, like he would make a terrible lawyer, for sure. But he's good at the propaganda sort of a thing, you know, which is to say, okay, he believes that we should protect our borders. Well, he knows the things to say that are most convincing to the people that think that the border should be defended or are kind of on the fence. And everybody that isn't susceptible to that particular technique that he's using is going to be like, no, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. You know, isn't it, you notice, like with me, when I'm looking at the markets and I see a story and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you can see me immediately be like, you know, start making fun of it and, you know, start pushing back because the thing that they're using isn't effective on me. So what you end up with Donald Trump, because of this, is you have two groups of people now in the United States that are almost living in completely different realities now, right? Like, look at the Russia thing. You know, all of the people that don't like Donald Trump think that Russia basically put him into power and that he's some sort of puppet there to do the Kremlin's bidding and he might be impeached any day now. That's what the super anti-Trump people think. Whereas the people on the right and the people that kind of liked him or supported him, well, that was an interesting sell there. Yeah, Trump doesn't have to be right. He just needs people to believe him. Sure. I mean, I think he is right on many issues, but it's more the tactic that he uses to when he's right. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I don't like the reward here. I don't like I mean, if it's a risk reward of 50%, I mean, my risk is equal to my reward. I would need to see something more probabilistic than just an iceberg. Okay, anyways. Yeah, he might be right about something, but it's the tactic that he uses, because he doesn't use, especially with Republicans. Republicans have always been, you know, really about being clean cut, and so they always try to use, you know, what would be considered to be like what the what is the word that I'm looking for? The proper argument. The argument that you can use and keep your dignity. And Donald Trump doesn't do that. Donald Trump says, I'm right. I've looked at the analysis, I've made my decision, and now I'm going to use every tactic that I have available to me to make the thing that I want to have happen. And he'll use whatever kind of logical fallacy or half-truths or presenting of the facts that will do it for him. Anyways, so for all of his supporters, what do they see? Oh, the economy is doing great. Trump is doing great. The other side are pushing these stories that are just total bullcrap. Someone just bought 40 Bitcoin at 9,500. Wow. See, this is. Think about the trend days that we've seen in the treasuries, right? We go down, and then at the bottom, you see all of these people buying it up, and then it goes lower. You know what I mean? Like that kind of action, the fact that there's so many people trying to bottom pick right now says to me that it can just go further. You know what I mean? Because those are just people that could get stopped out. And I guess it depends on how much they're going to hodl, but I get concerned when I see a lot of attempted bottom picking. But yeah, so that's the thing with Trump, is because of that, like, people are living in completely different realities. And that means that when there is something out there that contradicts one of those realities, and there are things on both sides, things that both of those sides are wrong about, and because everybody's in a bubble, they literally cannot see it. And that's why because of what I knew about politics and what my political leanings were and everything like that, I could see from the very beginning that Donald Trump was going to become president, even though other people were completely surprised by it. And conversely, there's going to be other things, and I don't know what it is, but there's going to be other things that I'm going to be wrong about that are just going to completely blindside me. Bitcoin does what the consensus is. People believed in 10K, it went 10K. They believed 20K, it went there. Then I hear a lot of it's going to 8K. Now it's almost there just 1 month later. Were you hearing people say 8K that early? I know that I said 8K like a month ago. So Trump is Satoshi. I believe, not that I have any evidence, but my guess would be that Satoshi is multiple people, and the money that he had was kept there for a specific purpose in case they ever needed it, and it took off without needing to use it, and then the people disagreed about what to do, and so that money is just sitting there, and it'll never be used, probably, and we may never know until years after they're all dead who it was. But I think it's multiple people. Peter Brandt called 8K right away after we broke 16. Okay, sure. Well, 8K is my number, but it's kind of like we get there and then I redo the calculations and then see what it does. The problem that I have here is that, a fall down to 8K is a pretty precipitous fall, but it's still higher than we were, just last October. And I kind of feel like the action that we're seeing is like the start of a longer term bear market. It's not low enough for a longer term bear market, Peter called after Mike, though. Yeah, that's a good point. Although there was plenty of people that made tons of calls way above 20,000, right? Yeah, exactly. IHT says, I'm waiting for the one move where everyone gives up. Exactly. I see a down candle with lots of volume and people buying big orders of Bitcoin and stuff. That's not the bottom. To me, that's not a major bottom. In fact, if price recovered here, just because of the things that we're saying, and I would want to be able to see it in the chart too, but just based on that stuff. Okay, so I'm not seeing like huge volume on these down candles, but man, a good example is this blue candle right here. Big volume, they're buying it, and what they do, they killed it. It's got to be dead. Yeah, there were so many people that were saying, 100,000. I'm like, no. My indicator says no. and I have to, we have to consider the possibility that this indicator that I have, that I am not the only person that has discovered it. I would not be surprised if some of these big fish have a similar thing, because the numbers are just kind of lining up really close with some of their predictions. I'm waiting for Jamie Dimon to come in and say, I told you it's a fraud. Between 6 and 8K, huh? Well, all I can say is that right now, my indicator says that it would be reading about 45, 45 at 8K. But because of the way that the data comes in, it's going to be 2 days before we get a really good reading on it again. It's just some of the data sources don't update every day. So even though it changes every day, it's the best reading is every other day. Today, the reading that we got is like really up to date. So the price that it was calculated at was like 11,500. Okay, so we are back to the VWAP. So here's where I was saying maybe we could start seeing some selling again. Maybe not.
Alligator said bouncing, double bottom graphically. Flattening so far.
I don't know. There's some good targets above and below us. So in ZB, where was the line in the sand at? 18 to 22. We are above that. So that would mean that we're more likely to trade higher to 151.02 and then 07. When Bitcoin first hit 5K, I called my mom. Wow. That was a long time ago. Oh man, it is dumping. You are right. Holy crap. It was a cat and it was dead. Oh man. Hi, JPJ. I don't know. This sell-off is definitely outperforming any expectations I ever had. It's just this on a relative basis is by far the strongest sell we've ever had. It's gone from overbought to oversold in a matter of 2 days, whereas in the past it would take, weeks to do that. did his metrics thingy call this sell-off? Well, my indicator was saying that we were overbought since like 13,000. So I've been saying that my indicator called this sell-off. We'll see if it calls the bottom. I'm kind of sitting here watching this sell and going like, it might be wrong on the bottom this time. If you want to turn around, I could just sell some Bitcoin, but you have to repay my losses. Tomorrow they announce the crypto ETFs and we go to the moon. Maybe. Something tells me that regulators wouldn't approve it. In amount of coin, not price. Yeah, Dave K is right. You said it has to hit 150 or something. So what I said was anything over 100 is overbought and you should consider getting out. But if we hit 150, then it's like crash is imminent. We never got to crash is imminent. And you can kind of see like it didn't happen all at once, did it? It's been a slow, painful process that's taken a whole month to play out, and only now is people giving up and it's going down. If it was crash imminent, then what would have happened is this would have gone all the way. And it would never have looked back. Maybe it wouldn't have gone down quite so quickly, but you wouldn't have had all of this ranging here. 5K will be the bottom. I don't know. Yeah. Feels forced, though. So I have seen that comment. Smiley Ant says perhaps linked to futures closing. I have seen in multiple places people pointing out that because the futures contracts are going to roll over, but I'm not completely sure that that's really a significant factor. $200-day simple moving average is at 7K. Well, I think I mean, here's how I think of it. You know, we said this yesterday. The way I think of it is the price has the current price of Bitcoin has two factors to it, right? There's the intrinsic value and the extrinsic value. So in my theory, the intrinsic value is only that people can make transactions with it. So the amount of people that are making transactions with it, the amount of money that's going through Bitcoin, that's the intrinsic value. Everything else is extrinsic. And primarily, the primary extrinsic factor is people buying it on momentum, okay? So what has happened? Now that we're selling, all of the extrinsic factors are evaporating. And we're going to be left with just the intrinsic value. Maybe a little bit less, because maybe extrinsic factors actually give us a slight negative a little bit. And that's going to push us below the 50. Yeah. Pinoy from Japan, I mean, it's kind of already a little late. Right. Depends on how much money you have, I guess. I mean, if I had $1 million in Bitcoin, then maybe I I don't know. I can't tell you. I really can't give you advice on that. If now is a good time to sell. The only thing that I'm focused on right now is when is a good time to buy. And the indicator is close to 50, but it is not quite there yet. A. B. Even if it goes below 50, I am not going to try and catch a falling knife, regardless of what the indicator says. I'm probably going to look back and be like, I should have just trusted the indicator. It's right every single effing time. But no, I just, bottom picking is bad. I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to let it do its thing. Hopefully, yeah, start buying around 7K just slowly. Yeah, and I would also average in for sure. But the thing is we should hope that it goes dead and it just becomes quiet then at that point. Because if we get the, like what some of people were saying, somebody said, oh, they're going to announce an ETF tomorrow and it's all going to go right back up. If that happens, you run a very high risk of a lower major high. And if that happens, then you're going to be in a bear market for years, just like after the Mt. Gox crash. I'm thinking about adding more fiat. This one is... I also think maybe some of what you're seeing is puking. Like with that blue candle. People bought a lot of Bitcoin there. And now they're underwater. They're dumping it. Well, yeah, what's your risk reward there at 7K? So I think in Bitcoin, your risk always has to be 0. I mean, everything. There it goes down to 0. So you're risking, right now, you're risking everything to double your money. I don't know. Double your money and then maybe it can go further than that, but the risk reward ratio might be better in other ones, so like maybe Ethereum. Okay, so we're at 800 in Ethereum, which is still pretty effing high, actually. Yeah, because when I mined Ethereum, it was like at 500. Isn't that nuts? Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash hasn't actually been taking as well. I mean, it's negative every bar, but I don't think that the percentage basis has actually been as much. Let's go to the main page. Oh, it actually has been more. That's interesting. Ethereum was more than Bitcoin Cash, though. Directly, yeah, but I'm still shorting here and there anyways. I'm not going to buy with fiat while shorting. What about Goldman Sachs opening a crypto market by spring? I don't know. Here's the thing, all of those things don't directly affect price at the moment, right? Those are not intrinsic factors yet. And you have to wonder, are they actually going to do those things? Oh geez, I got filled way too easily there. Are they actually going to do these things after prices completely collapsed? Yep, so we're okay. Our stop is above the last high. We're gonna get 4, 5, 6, 7 ticks. That's what we're looking for. I think this is an okay trade. Dave K, I lost a lot on an XRP short. Did it too early. Now I'm scared to do any trading. Rackley did pretty good on shorting XRP versus Bitcoin. And I think that it would be an okay pair to short here as well, but I'm just 90% sure Bitcoin will go lower. Oops, I moved off the bound channel. With equities tanking, we have a chance to go higher. Oh, that's a good point. Then they're saying UB might break out to the upside, but that was 10 minutes ago. I think that CF is going to sell, but I could be wrong. Buy the dip on BitConnect. Oh, please. That BitConnect thing just boggles my mind. The only thing I've ever heard about BitConnect is it's a scam. It's a scam. People still bought it. It's just crazy. Okay, well, I don't like that. Okay.
Alligator said looks like a risk-off morning.
Okay. It's so annoying when you're shopping for a house and suddenly you can only buy half a house. Well, why didn't you move it into cash, dude? I tell you what, that's another thing. So if you have a goal, like if you're buying cryptocurrencies and you're like, I want to pay off my house or I want to buy a new house, and you put a goal and you say, I want to buy $500,000 house. Okay, when you get $500,000 cash out, you hit the goal. You don't need any more. Don't be greedy. That'll always kill you every time. People are going into ETH Connect and BitConnect X now. Wait, are those real things, or was the word? Did you just make that up for the joke? Because I could totally see there being an ETH Connect. Oh, we're actually real. We're not a scam, but it is the same idea. We have a trading robot. Anthony Monterat was tweeting the National Suicide Hotline last night on BCC and BitConnect because their feed was littered with stories of lost money and life savings. It was bad. I just can't believe that people would put their life savings into it. I understand that cryptocurrency is still a speculative investment. You're speculating. You don't put your life savings on speculation. So even the best speculators screw up. Lose big. It was bad. I mean, it's bad right now. I mean, goodness gracious. No, those are real things. Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me, right? Do you think that those ones are scams too? I mean, do they have the same reputation? BitConnect X and ETH Connect. Yeah, nobody's gonna buy those. That's just okay. I mean, it's one thing to have put your life savings on cryptocurrencies, but to put it in BitConnect, what kind of stupid do you have to, you know? I can't. I don't even want to think about that. It's bad, but this purge was necessary. Yes, for sure. That's nuts. Yeah, I mean, it was necessary. You know, I used to be a club DJ. I make music from time to time. And, you know, so a lot of my friends are ravers. Now, I'm not trying to disparage the rave community, but when you see ravers buying Bitcoin, maybe it's time to sell. You know what I mean? Not everybody thinks like you, Seth. Yeah. No, but I don't think very many people at all think like me. Ravers, not rappers, ravers. You know, like uns type of stuff. Paul Kalbrenner. No, my name is Seth. Seth, if you want to look up, I have a few productions on SoundCloud. If you just, I think it's just TWD. My DJ name was The White Dragon because that's what I always used in video games, and I don't even know where I came up with that. It's just a thing. When people would ask, I would just tell them it's a sex move or something. But yeah, I forget if it's TWD or if it's The White Dragon. It's TWD. Yeah, there you go. Here, put it in here. That kind of music. It's trance. It's trance music. Monetize Coin is launching too. It literally has the exact same selling points on their site as Bitcoin Cash.
Alligator said nope.
You look like Paul Kalbrenner. The White Dragon, where people always chasing you. Have you ever seen that freaking Flash game called Chasing the Dragon? And you know, you inject yourself with heroin and you try and chase the dragon and he just flies away from you. I think that's freaking hilarious. Oh yeah, sure, I do kind of look like this Paul guy. Yeah. I mean, not completely. I have a different shaped head, but I mean, we're both bald. I have bigger eyes. I have huge eyes. Come on. Yeah. Maybe 24/7. Sorry, I didn't see your comment because I don't watch the Twitch chat as much as I do the YouTube chat. But he asked, should I give up now or keep my balls? Well, I mean, you're screwed already, right? Depends on how much money you have. I can't give you advice on whether to go in or out. Okay, no thanks. They hit that twice and it held. I think they want to go higher. See that? Might even flip here. Yeah, whenever people would ask me what it was, I'd always give them a different answer. Because there was really no reason. It was just a name that I randomly picked when I was like 8. I use in video games. Let's analyze this. What is actually driving the drop? It's the newbies who bought in at Christmas and Turkey Day. They're not used to turbulent crypto forces and are bailing. Perhaps. The thing that I find interesting about this crash, at least on BitConnect, or sorry, Bitfinex, is the way that the volume, significant volume here for many bars now. That's lots of people selling for sure. Now, where they got in at, was it all of these guys that got in here? Maybe. Massive manipulation that is trying to drive more Bitcoin to their wallets. It could be. I kind of feel like, let's see where it is tomorrow. If my indicator goes below 50 and to like 45, 40, and the further it goes, the more that I would be inclined to say that this sell-off is a manipulated event for sure, because it's just way too oversold. But that's exactly why I'm being so cautious about, saying we should buy it here. Yeah. Well, the plebs all got in at 12, between 12 and 15. So, that could be them puking for sure, yeah. Okay, well, I should have held on to that because I could have gotten out at basically break even. Where did my... I'll just bring up a new one. Okay, I was at 265, so we're actually right where I got out at. I don't know, this in CF is what's making this a hard call. Nobody's buying that, huh? I need to sit back. I've been on the edge of my seat all day. think we have all been on the edge of our seats for the past 2 days. This is the 5th correction, normally right after Bitcoin rises to the moon. What's next? I don't know. Yeah, Dave K, I have seen this several times, but this does not feel normal. No, it doesn't. Even compared to the Mt. Gox crash, does not seem normal. Yeah, this has not been a normal correction as we've seen on the way up. That the ranging behavior that we had the past month was definitely a little weird too. But that's probably just smart money moving into altcoins, thinking that, you know, that someday Ethereum is going to be worth a lot more. That's why Ethereum went up so much. And then all of the newbies puked. And now everybody else is like, oh, it doesn't matter if Ethereum is going to be the one someday. If Bitcoin goes down, we all go down. So now they're puking too. Something like that. You know, it's hard to say without being able to see all of the volume in every instrument to say where they went and which players are coming out and stuff. Okay, so I'm seeing a bit of a buy spike here. And I think I can get filled at 27.5. That would be an okay spot. It's still the 5th wave. The big question is if Bitcoin collapses even more or fly to the moon. Well, I think that there's always a counter move, right? That's kind of the problem. Is I think that because of the action that we've had, that what will happen is there's going to be a counter move where relatively smart money tries buying it, and then it doesn't make a new high and they get out. And then that would give my indicator a little bit more room to go down more, so that next time it hits 50, it's more like 5K or below. Okay, well that was a decent fill at least. We got cleared. We caught the edge. Would certainly like to see more than. Would certainly like to see that 3,000 pull and have a flip here. No, not that time. Oh yeah. Anthony says I agree for 5K. I was just throwing 5K out as a number. I'm not saying that's like a target in my mind or anything. I'm just saying if 8K is the bottom, it's not that bad of a sell-off, is it? Because most of you guys got in before 8K. Good old Wall Street manipulation. Well, it's... I mean, come on. If this move was triggered by somebody, it's somebody that owns a lot of Bitcoin and has probably held a lot of Bitcoin for a long time. And remember, we had that chart that shows that we see this kind of movement every year. I think this is just kind of for tax reasons and stuff, the time when whales take their profits. $7K. Well, I'm not going to try and pick the bottom. Okay, well, that was pretty good. So I have to step away here for a moment. That makes me feel a little bit better about... Alright. Right. There we go. Yep, hold on, I got it. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. What are external forces driving the price down? Fear of global regulation, China shutting down Bitcoin farms, South Korea regulation, tax laws, too many noobs. I met a spammer a few days ago, and his guy was sure that Satoshi was an insider from the NSA. He mentioned that the codes Satoshi was using at the time were only used by NSA people. Yeah, well, so that story was on Zero Hutch. We were laughing about that earlier today. I was like, of course! Why did I never see this before? I haven't read the whole article though, so I can't see all of their... The wife is going out the door and needed something, and is in a rush. So I don't know how much evidence they had, but it seemed kind of weird. We apparently have been on a parabolic curve for 2.5 years, so plenty of time to get coin. Well, yeah, I mean, if this is a big crash, I hope it's a big crash, because I would love to have a year to mine at low prices. There's always going to be somebody willing to buy it. That's the thing. Even if something price action happens that proves that it's just incredibly stupid to get into, there's always going to be somebody that's willing to play it. Why are they so many at 29 here, you think? Well, I guess there was a pivot there earlier. Okay. I'd expect them to push through it though. Mining at low prices does not equal greater output. It's mining at a lower hash rate. Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I wouldn't be mining Bitcoin for sure, because you'd still need. In fact, Rackley, I think it was Rackley, was pointing out yesterday that during this whole debacle, the hash rate has actually gone up by like 15-20%. Yeah, and of course, as we sell, the hash rate will probably come down a little bit. Some miners will turn off. Especially if China steps in and does it. The better it is for Roger Ver to take over. Bitcoin Cash go to the moon. That is true, which makes no sense. You are making less and spending more. For the miners, yeah. Well, we're getting a solid bid here. I just would like to see some market orders hitting that 29 there. Come on. Let's do this. Equities looks like it's poised for another drop lower. The lower the hash rate, the more miners will jump in. Oh, okay. Is that what happened in Mt. Gox, though? Some more miners jumped in? Oh, it wasn't Rackley. Maybe it was, I forget his name now. Sludge. Maybe it was Sludge that said that. Yeah, here's the KCS dip. Where are we at on KCS now? Even lower? No, I'm still at about the same spot. Okay. There we go. Good deal. Vortex. Where do you think it can go? 05? 123 even? Oh. Well, this is looking like equities panic mode. Yeah? Which is interesting. Dave K, I do not know. I was not there. I've only been in the game 1.5 years. Okay. Huh? Look at that. The absorption right below the low. Maybe a level break here. Because they bumped through the 29 with they didn't have to do a level break to do that one. So now he has the field to try it here. But of course, I'm not liking the chart in ZF seems a little overdone too, though. Come back a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we're doing good. We could just take this forward and be fine. Oh, I need to step away for a second, actually. So I'm going to move this to break even. Okay. So just... I didn't really get to see everything. I don't see a huge spike here. This looks like it could keep going. Did they get through... Did they clear 30? That would be important to know. Sorry for having to ditch you guys out for a moment. If anything, it's Diamond and his buddy. He says he hates crypto. Price goes down. His buddy get in. He says he loves it. They get out. Yeah. I mean, that whole thing was Jamie Dimon as the CEO of a major financial institution should be careful about what he says. And I think that he regrets making too strong of a statement on Bitcoin. I think when he said it, he was kind of thinking about it more from the perspective of nobody at JP Morgan should be owning it because it's against their rules. And when he took his comments back, you know, I think it was largely because he just regretted saying something that controversial from his position. I don't necessarily think that it's affecting price or that they're secretly behind the scenes they're actually buying it even though he says that it's awful or anything like that. Oh, why won't it? Oh, now you print. Stupid thing. She wanted 3 copies of the resume and it would only do 1. She's got an interview today. And now it's printing it. You can hear it. Okay, well, I definitely don't like this tick down. But it would be within its usual behavior to be ticking down here and then go back up. At least it's done that several times today.
Alligator said some, not sure entirely, looks like a pullback 285.
Yeah. Equities is what's going on right now is we're being pumped up because equities had a big fall here. Now we did that double bottom and then it was like, oh, it's done, and now it's come back here to the top. And now it could fail here and we could get another push up, or we could go higher and then maybe selling would start again.
Alligator said they buy every dip. Can't get a rest.
Right. The action in equities lately is just insane. I really think that it's just getting a little out of hand. You got to remember the barriers to entry in the crypto world is so high, you can't just flood in millions of new money instantly. Well, I think that's why the tether prints have been so significant, right? Because they'll print millions in tether and like right afterwards it goes up. So I don't know if that's tether doing it or if there's just some big traders that have been getting in and doing it, but tether has definitely been one of the ways that the big money has been getting in. It's also, you know, for sure the case that most of the money, or at least a good portion of the money, is money that has been in the market for a very, very long time. But there was also a lot of people that got accounts on Coinbase and put money in early December. Can you just buy millions of tether? I think you can. I think so. I don't know how it works. Because I was going to use tether and try it to see if I could, you know, like buy $20 of tether, take it to the exchange, trade it for Bitcoin, take a small profit, and then take it back out and see if you could actually go through that whole process. But then they like banned US accounts. So apparently AdSense payments occur automatically. You can't manually withdraw. Yeah, that's correct. So make sure that your account information in AdSense is correct. I've only done that, and not related to this channel actually, but I've gotten like 2 payments from Google before, and yeah, it's just like when it hits the threshold, they just send it to you. Unless you like don't have your bank accounts in there and confirmed correctly, then it'll sit there until you do that. Looks like our numbers today on the stream are a little bit higher. I don't know if that's because people have been coming in from Steemit maybe, but welcome. We're a pretty small, tight-knit, chatty community, so please chime in and introduce yourself if you haven't already. Good deal. Yeah, AdSense is basically how you get paid for advertising with Google content. Like if you put ads on YouTube videos, or the way that I got it was I had a Google custom search engine, and they paid me for the ads that it showed them from that. And it happened to come up to $100 and they send you a payment. Strikeman, I got in at the bottom of that dip. Are you talking about Bitcoin? Like 93.10? I mean, that was a little bit of maybe a level break setup too, but let's see if they tick back up. I think they will. That's not necessarily what we want to see. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of selling, but the buyers are holding it. I made some YouTube videos last year, and as long as people watch it, I get paid. Yep. What if I had taken the first payment and put it in Bitcoin $100 at, yeah. You know, I was aware of Bitcoin from the day that it was released, and I could have gone home that day and started mining. Oh well. And then by the time I had realized that, hey, even though I don't think that this is going to replace the US dollar or anything like that, there's always going to be somebody willing to buy it and you can make money from trading it. By the time I had realized that, I worked at the firm and then I couldn't hold any. So this has really been my first opportunity to really play in it. Okay, I'm going to take a profit here. So I'm a little afraid of these icebergs I'm seeing in ZF. Some alts going back up, huh? No, don't go without me. Oh, man. Yeah, that offer is firming up a lot faster. Even though the E-mini did not break a new high and could go lower. Oh, E-mini's being very, very tricky right now. I suspect, though, from the cumulative delta that it's going to go lower. Which alts are going back up that you're looking at and are interested in? Well, I should just look at my Delta app and see what it says about the ones that I'm in over the past hour. Okay. Well, Sia coin is up 2%. Everything else I see is down, especially KU coin. Ugh, KU coin is now down to 7. Let's see if the 85 holds again. By pack, it's 1 Satoshi. Well, I'll put that on the list. Let's make a list here. You guys always give me these and then I forget their names. Pack. Oh, okay. It was a joke. Well, I've never heard of it before. What is it? Other than that, it's 1 Satoshi. So I'm really interested in anything that's brand new. Like on the 21st, the garlic coin is going to be released. Totally going to mine some garlic coin. It's going to be great. It's going to be the biggest pump and dump ever, guys. So all this
money. The traders said short ZB at 151.05, selling tail 0.06 from January 9, 2017, plus no volume and no velocity and no interest.
Well, it does look like a top in ZB. Anyways, all this is selling. You know what it really is? It's people getting ready to move into garlic coin. That's what it is. Yeah. Well, because you see, there's no exchanges for garlic coin yet. So, well, that was a good absorption there. I like that. No thanks. Okay, +2. See, you can't actually just buy it, so you're gonna have to get mining hardware, of course. Oh, it's on Cryptopia already? Oh, it's the BitConnect people selling their Bitcoin. Okay, that might be. Because for those guys, you know, all of the money that they got was free, so it doesn't matter. They just want to sell and run. That one might actually be a good theory. Like maybe the initial push started it, but then they went kaput, and now the rest has been because of BitConnect.
Bot said this morning's notes with levels of interest for ZB.
Yeah. Wasn't, oh, I guess maybe we did reach it. Wasn't it 02, then 07, and then 15? From John? 02, 07, and moved to test supply in the 14 to 16 area.
Bot said only if they can break that seller's single print at 151.08. Cedric said.
Oh, well done, Cedric.
Cedric said leaving for today, see you tomorrow. Trade the traders said posted yesterday possible is also a very different scenario. We broke the day before ledge and no interest for shorts. Now at the high we have weak high. At 151.6 selling tail. Bot said nice trading. Alligator said nice Cedric buy.
Can I show you guys here? If we pull that over and we pull our E-mini chart over. So here was the high in the E-mini. Okay. And look, since it's been going down, we've been going up. And then here again, when we really looked like it was going to turn, we went up again. So it could go higher and test that 15 in ZB, but the E-mini would have to fall to do it, I think. Having it blast trading KCS, BTC, and USDT. Sorry, I didn't see many run far, far away. No one knows who the owners are, so they have perfect anonymity. This looks like a decent point to go long. Would you be in clear opposition to that? No, not necessarily. I'm opposed to bottom picking. You know, there was a lot of people last night that were saying the same thing that you were. Oh, look, it's bottomed here. Wrong. So I just say let it play out. You know, like when everybody agrees that it's over. Right now, we're still kind of all unsure. Oh, here, what's the deal? Oh, now that's interesting. Under the new rules, you need 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. Wait, now, aren't they going to lose revenue off of that? Oh no, they're not going to lose revenue off of that. Because what's going to happen is 90% of YouTube channels, they will still have the monetization on them, but they won't. Like, you'll probably be able to put ads on it, but you just won't get paid. That's my guess. That's interesting.
Bot said I think the push followed Bank of Canada rate increase this morning at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I posted this in the other room at 10:03 Eastern Time. 6C, 6E and 6J all down equals USD up equals Treasury yields lower so.
I didn't see that the Bank of Canada was doing something. Let's take a look at that. For some reason, I turned Canada off. Okay. So what did they do? They kept the rate the same. It happened at 8.
Alligator said why seems so.
I see.
Bot said missed my LVN at 07 by 1 tick.
Yeah, I gotcha. I thought it was watch time or 1,000 subs. It could be either or. We do have 1,000 subs here. Doesn't really matter, I guess. I see. I think it was sending me an email because I have another channel that I would put my music on, and that one doesn't have 1,000 subscribers. So rarely use that channel. For this one, the only thing that I worry about with it, because the
Bot
monetization
said now they're
is
returning
not,
to the scene of the crime.
right. The monetization is not really significant. I'm more worried
Alligator
about.
said could trigger a reversal with the help of equities.
I'm more worried about the exposure that you get. Like, will that mean that
Trade the traders said out +7.
my channel won't see as much, won't go as, or that non-partner channels won't show up in the search results as often, or that sort of a thing? You know what I mean? It just seems like they're making it harder and harder for somebody that's starting from scratch to build up a channel, That's definitely what happened at Facebook. Facebook used to be a great way to let your friends and family know about something that you were working on and get the online support. And now if you post a link on it, like, nobody even sees it. Where did he go short from? short at 05. Yeah, good job.
Bot said nice out at 30 with only 90 contracts traded at the bid.
I don't even see a thing there. Did it touch 30? It did touch it once. So he might be right. It might not have been a... He said 05 though, so... I mean, he was right. Yeah, 05. So maybe it was +5. I'm not so sure though, because the way that he said it made it sound like that was like the end of the day, and I'm not so sure about that one. I think that there's a chance that they make another push up. So advertising your channel on other platforms, especially Facebook/Twitch, will help. They funnel the views where they make the most from them, so you need to be a platform for high-paying ads and preferably bring a large crowd with you from other sites. Yeah, that's probably the case. I do post my videos like on Twitter, like I have the automatic posting to Twitter set up, and some of you guys have been helping me out, which I really appreciate. Like I think we got a couple of new people from Rackley posting on Steemit. So normally, like a good day, we'll have between 6 and 12, and today we have 19 on YouTube, and we're still kind of light on Twitch. I don't know if the Twitch will ever. I'll tell you what, with the Twitch, they're making a new Soul Calibur game. I really love Soul Calibur, and it's going to be on the PC. Oh yes, so I'm going all out this time. Like, I'm gonna get the Hitbox controller with the arcade buttons, and or maybe the joystick, and like the whole long thing. And we're gonna stream playing Soul Calibur online, and we'll get people on Twitch that way. Because I mean, I've never played it online, but you know, we would have like little mini tournaments back in the day, and I'd just cream everybody. It wasn't even a contest. This showed up in my recommended section, so you are doing some things right. Oh, awesome. That's good. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, we have gotten some from that. I think the big jump, the funny thing was, you know, I didn't always do it live. I would just record it and post it at the end of the day. And so a lot of people have been following from all the way back from then, because they saw me posting my journal on Futures.io, or you know, that sort of a thing, or they were just in the Discord channel. But then when the Bitcoin futures went live, so it's been about a month now, that worked so well, I was like, well, let's just keep doing it. And I'm glad I did that, because we have good chats. And like the whole point is for, try and build the community up a little bit so that traders have a better platform. I want to say a better platform to learn on if you've never done anything, because right now there's just not a lot of places you can go where there's going to be other people there trading the exact same thing that you are and talking about the actual volume going through. There's a few, but there's not a lot. And then so we want to build all of that up a bit more so that it's easier to find and there's more talent. And streaming just turned out to be a really good way of doing it. So, and the same with the cryptocurrencies, since we have some valuable perspective to give to the cryptocurrency traders. I think it's been useful. Now, have they traded the 70? They've traded the 70 a couple of times already. So how many ticks have we been in this range for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we, oh no, they've already moved out of it. Never mind. What is CS? I think he meant KCS in that case. Okay, aggressive selling there. We could maybe start thinking about taking a short here. Yeah, just like he says, it meant KCS. He meant KCS. He's not talking about Counter-Strike coin. I'm sure there's some coin out there that's CS. Dave K, I'm thinking of longing very soon. Litecoin is low. Yeah, Litecoin on my indicator looked a little underbought. It didn't look nearly as prime as some of the other charts, like especially Bitcoin Cash is looking better and better. And Bitcoin, it's the bottom is somewhere around here. Kind of seems, but I would just recommend against bottom fishing. Bottom fishing makes it go lower. And you buy it like that against momentum, that just gives people incentive to try and push it down further so that you'll puke. Okay. Well, I want to take one. I'm normally stop at 9:30 my time. What do you guys think about Wager? I have never heard of that. Is that like a betting website? I am interested in more betting websites because like the best market that we have right now is predicted, and it's not very liquid or very much. And I've, like when that special election with Roy Moore, for instance, I posted a video. It's saying, I think he's going to lose, even though I'm a Republican and everything. But I just, some of the things that I look at were signaling pretty clearly that there was a good chance of him losing, and so I made a video about it, and of course, he did lose. And I wish that there was a more accessible betting market for me. I could have, put $20 behind what I was saying, Decentralized sports betting company with a nice roadmap for 2018. I put it on my list. Wager R. Okay, some stacking there. Good deal. Pretty clean fill there. We can get some 2000 on there, please. I'm going up based off of this ZF pushing through here. So we're going to save some absorption on the bid.
Alligator said turning well below VWAP.
Yeah. 265 is the middle of the zipper, right? Yes, good. REP. What is a rep? That's also a betting market. There's a token coming that will let you bet on anything you want, but it's peer-to-peer, so you have to find a counter better. Well, that's kind of cool, though. Because it means you could bet against Bitcoin, for instance. Of course, how would that work? Because you'd have to be paid in Bitcoins, and yeah, that wouldn't make any sense, would it? I don't like that slight tick up in cumulative delta now. We're okay in ZF. Yeah. David K now saying that he thinks Bitcoin is reversing. No, can't say. When I see a candle on the 6-hour chart close above the previous candle, like the high of one candle, close above the high of the previous candle, that's what I meant to say, then maybe I will say maybe it's over. That makes sense? So like if this one had closed above here, then it would have been then you can more confidently say that maybe a reversal occurred and it's safe to buy. I just have it as 6. I don't know why I've picked 6, but that's just kind of on my phone. That was the time frame that let me see what I wanted to see. Is that a thing? Are there a lot of people that do 6 hours? 3 more KCS, and I've doubled my KCS holding. Good job. And Rackley has a decent amount of KCS too. Oh, good job. Well, if you want to do a betting market and you're going to get paid in something other than Bitcoin, like dollars, then that would mean that you would have to be, you know, get all of the pass all of the requirements that the feds require, which is why there's not very many of them. If you have a betting site that's just all Bitcoin, then you don't necessarily have to deal with that. I was like, what? They just a 600? They're not going to take it? Oh, they took it. Ethereum Classic is actually bouncing. I don't really understand the Ethereum Classic thing, but I never hear about it. And like Bitcoin Cash, I hear about Bitcoin Cash all the time, but I don't see the same thing with the Ethereum Classic. Well, I know what happened. BTC getting a BTC fork? What? How does he explain that? Okay, Monstar owns some Ethereum Classic. But do you think that Ethereum Classic will ever replace standard Ethereum? That's kind of the question. Ooh. Okay. Did you see that? 3,000 came up real quick. And now they're trying to sell it. Yep. Out. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we can tick up. Oh, we actually are in a reversal zipper. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see that. So we have a trade where on the candles, that if it goes in a zipper like this for 11 candles, I go long. So I should be long right now. But I feel like I need to step away for a second. I'm going to step away for just a moment, come back, and we're going to look at what it does.
Alligator said dead till beige book.
Oh, what are you saying in here now? Okay. Oh, okay, so Ethereum Classic has some different ideas about entering the Internet of Things market. Okay. So maybe there's some worth there. And Zach, yeah, I like Zach. I wanted to mine some, but I just couldn't get a good hash rate on it. If a 4-hour candle closed green, it's a bullish sign, right? Well, yeah, but Dev Pluto, I would say it's really when you get to, it's really how two candles are positioned next to each other. So if you have one candle closes above the high of the previous candle, then you have a much more reliable indication that a reversal has occurred. I don't know what the percentage is, but Bitcoin private will fork from Bitcoin BTC and will get ZL Tech in it. And both Bitcoin and ZCL holders will get 1.1 to 1 on it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so now we're at 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if it doesn't break out to the upside right here, then the pattern is broken. But it should touch 28 here. Normally I'd take it, but I missed the entry at 26.5, so... And I do have a call here in 3 minutes. Well, Bitcoin does, I didn't notice, but Bitcoin is making a move towards the VWAP. You noticed yesterday they were never able to stay above the VWAP for very long. If we can get above the VWAP and hold it, then that would be another indication that we're going long, right? Okay, so Bitcoin is back over 10K. It doesn't mean it's over though. Like if I had been lucky enough to catch it down there at 9,500, I would have my sell order at wherever the VWAP is in that instrument. But I'm, I scalp, so very short term. Let me have my moment. Okay, you were right, Dave. You caught the bottom. That was a gutsy move. And well done. But where are you planning on taking it off though? Or is that just that's just your buy? You buy and now you're holder for the rest of your life. Oh, okay, so I have to get on a call. Since this doesn't look like it's quite done yet, I'm just gonna leave it going, but I don't think I'm going to make any more trades today. Oh, that was my theoretical buy. Okay. I did take -1 on that one, so this should have been +4 or 5. I had to step away at the wrong time. I should have just taken it off when I needed to step away, huh? Well, that was dumb. Okay.
He said, well, I did the 1-tick trading drill this morning. Not technically because my stop/target was 2 halves because of sim. I did a total of 50 trades. Trading 3 contracts. All trades were taken in.
Wow. So he did it and he made 1,000. Oh, and you had a 70% win rate. Very good job. On what instrument again? Based on fill data. Oh, was the first one ZN? Oh, I guess I can see it right here and say, what is your average net profit? Oh, that must be ZB. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna step away for a second. Bye.
Heath said had to stop because my eyes started to bleed. Smiling face with open mouth.
Oh. Okay, well, I can't look at my chart to see if that 11 tick reversal worked or not. I mean, if it actually got to 11, because if it goes to 13, then you bail. But a Ninja Trader crashed again. This one works, but all of my bond charts are not working. So I can only assume that since this one has the VWAP on it and it's fine, it has to be my cumulative delta or my spread indicator. Oh, maybe it's not even cumulative. Well, but I have spread over here too. And I have cumulative delta over here too. It's just those 3 bond charts, they crash. Like, what the heck? Don't understand. It's my 1 range charts are the ones that are crashing. Well, and we did take a small step lower. So I guess I went short, right? Yeah, I guess I should have just kept my short. Would have made a good vortex. I think I got an okay exit signal there. All right, let's see what have you guys been saying here. Lots of buying happening in Ethereum Classic. Litecoin recovering much faster than Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash. And you guys are seeing the order book fill up too. Interesting. I mean, it's a blue candle. I'm gonna wait. If I see a candle close above the other candle, though, I might buy. Might finally buy some Bitcoin Cash with the stuff that I've got on Coinbase. We'll see. Anyways, I kind of feel like that move down kind of resolved everything, so I think we're okay to stop. You guys got any questions, stuff you want to talk about before we go? We'll be in Discord, so if I do buy, I'll be sitting in Discord and I'll tell you. In the Bitcoin channel, yeah. It gives you about a minute because I know there's the delay and everything. I'd be a little suspicious if it's Litecoin is the one that's leading the way. Just seems like Litecoin has been a bit more pumpy. Does that make sense? Yeah, it definitely came up less. It's negative 20. Looks like it got sold more though too. Everything's orange. Oh no. I hope that was the bottom. Yeah. We'll see. There's no rush, guys. Yeah, like when Litecoin went up after it back, like the second half of December, kind of looked like a pump to me. It's like they pulled all their stuff out of Bitcoin and then they moved it into Litecoin, and then they pulled it out of Litecoin and they put it into this one, and then Ethereum was like the last one, and now that they've gotten in Ethereum, it's like they pulled out and everything just dumped. They've been playing that ring around the rosy game in the altcoins. Yeah, when it went way past reasonable fib levels. Exactly. Okay, well, since I don't see much else, and I actually do see a couple of people jumping off, so I think now is a good stopping point. So -1 today. I don't feel like I was very focused, so that's probably a good time to just stop since we missed that move down. Anyways, it's a rangy day anyways, so, and tomorrow might be some more of the same. So yeah, we'll just step away for a little bit and let Bitcoin do its thing, and then maybe come back in the afternoon and maybe buy some Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum is what I would be planning on buying. Yeah. Okie dokie. I will catch you guys tomorrow.